Hi, I'm Koen, and I'm very excited because the first semifinal of Eurovision 2022 is coming up. And of course, I'm going to share my thoughts before the first semifinal and my predictions with you. But before that, I think we kind of have to talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say the big kinetic sun in the room or on the stage, because it doesn't work. That big semicircle on the stage, which was like the big feature of this stage this year, it's broken. It doesn't work the way it should work, so it won't be used the way that it was intended to be used. So now that big sun will just remain the way as it is now on the stage, with the LED wall facing the big LED wall, if that makes sense. So the non-LED side of the sun will face the audience. So some delegations have had to change their stagings last minute. I think it's kind of surprising that this was only discovered so close to the actual shows, because the technicians won't be able to solve this problem before the live shows. I think it's kind of disappointing. I think organization-wise there have been lots of issues. I don't remember ever having seen this many problems during rehearsals and technical problems, but I hope that it will be solved before the live shows, because I would hate to see delegations struggle with technical difficulties and maybe score not as good as they would have without those technical difficulties. So I hope that it will all be solved. But anyway, let's just hope for the best and enjoy the show as much as we can, because, you know, in the end it is Eurovision time and I think we should all focus on the positive. Anyway, with all that being said, let's move on to my thoughts on the chances of the countries. I'll start with the countries that I think are least likely to qualify and move up until the definite qualifiers. So in the first semifinal, I think Switzerland is not that likely to qualify. I think the staging is done pretty nicely with the projections and all, but I don't think that'll be enough for this song to qualify. Also, Bulgaria, look, they're not bad when you look at that rehearsal clip, but I feel like the small demographic that would like this song is not going to give Bulgaria enough votes for them to qualify, especially in the strong semifinal. Now then, let's move on to the possible qualifiers. First of all, Croatia. They didn't lie when they said that they were going to change the staging a lot compared to the national final staging, and I gotta say I'm happily surprised. I think it's a nice concept, maybe not the most memorable, but I can see potential of this being a surprise qualifier. Now Iceland, call me crazy, but honestly I think that the staging of Iceland perfectly captures the feeling of the song despite that sun LED wall being broken. So I think Iceland could also possibly qualify as a surprise qualifier, you know? Now Denmark, they apparently wanted to use the LED part of the sun, but like I said, they can't use that, so they had to improvise. And if you look at the rehearsal clip, you can't really see that they had to improvise, in my opinion. I think they solved this really well, and I think that it's a really good performance. The part that we saw, it doesn't show, get it, that they've had technical difficulties, because in my opinion, you can't really see that their intention was to use the LED wall. Like, the staging looks like they meant for the staging to be like this, you know? I think the staging is done really well, and it looks even better than the national final performance, in my opinion. So I think that Denmark could qualify to the grand final. Now Moldova has a good chance of qualifying, I think. Sure, there's no train on stage like I thought there would be, but still, Zdopsi's dupe is very charming, and I think this could do pretty well in the televoting. Slovenia. I think the staging of Slovenia is done pretty well. I really like that big disco ball on the stage and that the band members are standing around, and the song is of course very catchy, so I think this is something that the local viewers could really like and vote for it and could possibly qualify. Lithuania. I think Lithuania is one of the countries that's affected by the sun being broken the most, which hurts because I really like Lithuania this year. It's one of my biggest favorites. Yet I think they solved this problem pretty well with that astigmatism filter on the lights, you know? I think Lithuania can still qualify despite the fact that their plan was to use the LED side of the sun. I think they still captured the feeling of the song pretty well, and then also Monica Liu's personality and charm could still bring Lithuania to the grand final, I think. Now Latvia. I think Latvia is also pretty affected by the LED sun not being usable, but still, I think the fact that this song is so catchy, has this humor and has this message of being environment friendly, can still give them a grand final spot. Now Austria, I'm not too sure if it's the vocals of Pia Maria or the vocals of the backing singer that I'm kind of having my doubts about, but still, I don't think they sound awful, and I think the staging is done pretty well because they have this huge prop around their DJ set. So I think that Austria has still a chance of qualifying. Now the Netherlands, my country, I gotta be honest, I liked her outfit, but from the part that we've seen of the exclusive rehearsal footage, I'm kind of scared that we're the Belgium 2018 of this year. You know, being told that you have a lot of potential to end up high, but then not nailing it with the staging. I wasn't really sold on the staging, at least the part that we saw. Maybe they just tactically showed the least interesting part of the song. Like the rehearsal footage kind of feels flat in my opinion. Yet I'm still going to remain optimistic and say that the Netherlands still have a chance of qualifying, because I genuinely still think they have a chance of qualifying. Now, my definite qualifiers are the next countries, the remaining countries, which are Norway. I'm pretty sure that Norway will qualify. I think they will really stand out, obviously, because there's no entry like them this year. I think the song and performance will grab people's attention, and I think they will do pretty well at the televote because of that. I gotta say though, I am pretty disappointed by the fact that the whole chorus, it's just the backing track. There are no live vocals. And that's why I don't really like the fact that they kept the rule that you can keep vocals on your backing track after last year's edition, because then you will get things like this. You can only hear them sing in the verse, at least in the rehearsal footage that we saw. You can only hear them sing in the verse of the song. So honestly, in my personal opinion, I hope that will change in the future, because I don't really like it like this, but still, I think Norway will qualify. Now next up, Albania. I think Albania is also a definite qualifier, but Ronella has had quite a bumpy road since the rehearsals, because first of all, the Eurovision Instagram account deleted this photo of Ronella's first rehearsal, and the reason for this apparently was that it was not family friendly enough for Eurovision, which I think is very weird and hypocritical, because there have been lots of Eurovision performances that have been way less family friendly than Ronella's performance and song. Also, this year has also been a pretty non-family friendly performance rehearsal. Achille Lauro, I didn't see this energy for him. Anyway, I love the fact that Ronella responded to this by wearing this outfit to the press conference, because this was family friendly. I love Ronella. And then next to that, I do think that the broken LED sun is affecting Albania's performance. I don't think the way the rehearsal clip looks is the way they intended for Albania's staging to look. I mean, it doesn't look as good as the national final performance, let's just say that. But still, I think Ronella can give Albania a grand final place. I'm sure of that. Now, Armenia. After seeing the staging concept and the rehearsal clip, I am sure Armenia will qualify. I mean, they're last in the running order. They have a really fun staging with their original concept that we haven't seen at Eurovision being done like this before. So I'm sure that Armenia will get a spot in the grand final. Then also Greece. I didn't really expect this kind of staging from Greece, but I'm happy with what it looks like. I'm pretty sure that Greece will qualify and end up in the top 10 again. Now, Ukraine. I think Ukraine is also definitely qualifying. I think the staging has a beautiful concept behind it. It's just that that awful broken sun blocks that beautiful big LED wall. I really hate the fact that some countries' stagings are being ruined like this, but still I think Ukraine will definitely qualify, and I think a top 3 in the grand final is still very possible for Ukraine. And then finally, Portugal. I think Portugal has a really nice and intimate staging on that little B stage in the front of the arena. I think both the juries and televoters at home will really like this, and I'm sure that Portugal will qualify. I think a top 10 place for Portugal is very possible. Okay, so now I've given you my countries that I think are least likely to qualify, possible qualifiers and definite qualifiers, but I of course have to make a final prediction of 10 qualifiers. So here it goes. Here goes nothing. Like I've said before many times, this is the strong semifinal, which you've probably noticed by how many countries I've said are possible qualifiers, but I'm still going to try to predict countries. Okay, so here it goes. My qualifiers are Ukraine, Greece, Armenia, Norway, Portugal, Albania, Austria, Latvia, the Netherlands, and Lithuania. Look, I know not all of these are that realistic, but I'm remaining hopeful. You know, Eurovision can be surprising sometimes. And statistically speaking, I've got at least one qualifier correct. So I'm already happy with that, you know? I'm already happy that Eurovision week is this week. Anyway, let me know what your qualifiers are. I hope you will all enjoy the show. Yeah, I'm really excited and I can't wait to watch the show. And I hope that we will all enjoy it. And I hope that countries' technical difficulties will be solved. Let's hope for that. Anyway, that's about all for now. Thank you so much for watching and hopefully until next time. Bye.